this. Perfect. All right, go ahead.
Hi, Rose. You wanted to do a presentation before we started the interview?
Yes. Hello, my name is Rosie. I live in Victoria, where I just finished grade 4, and this is my presentation about Emily Carr. I will be discussing both about her paintings and her life. Some notes on this slide are that Emily lived in Victoria. She was a very prolific BC artist, and she loved nature. This is one of Emily's more famous works of art. It depicts a raven statue that would be near a First Nations village. It is currently at the Vancouver Art Gallery. Emily became interested in drawing and painting at a very young age. At the age of 5, she started drawing animals, like her father's dog. This was the very start of her art career. This is a painting she made in a forest. Visitors to my artifact, which you will see a picture of soon, really enjoyed imitating this piece. As you can see, she made a lot of paintings of trees. Emily was very passionate of the world around her and our impact on the environment. Emily grew up in a big house with her parents and siblings. It is now called the Carr House and is a museum devoted to her and her family. It is also a children's art school where you can learn to paint, something I didn't know until I visited Carr House. Although she didn't have kids of her own, she does have descendants because one of her sisters got married and had kids. The others were either against it, very religious, or just tired without a lot of time to marry. Emily's paintings sometimes showed her anger about destruction to nature, which you can see in the very empty landscape with these sad tree stumps in this painting. Emily had a powerful connection to First Nations people. She would visit many villages, and this would make a strong impression on her life and career. On a trip back from a First Nations village, she refused the love of a boat captain, among other suitors. An important stage in her career was a trip to Paris, where she saw great artists' work which influenced her style. Here is the painting station, which is the artifact I mentioned. In the painting, you see me with the Book of Small, authored by Emily Carr, a few of her paintings, pages of her journal, and my painting station. Here are the sources I used. Thank you for listening to my presentation about Emily Carr.
Right. Thank you for that presentation, Emily. Firstly, can I ask you about the paintings you chose to show? I know Emily Carr made a lot of them, so why those ones specifically?
Well, they're the more well-known ones, and they're also my favorites. And that one is a self-portrait that she made. And so I thought I should show that.
Yeah. Out of those ones, if you had to pick a favorite, which one is your most favorite?
Well, I don't have this one right there, but my favorite is Above the Gravel Pit.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about why you like that one so much?
Well, I think the colors are very nice, and also the idea, her trying to show people what's happening in the world. So
yeah, and this is still happening now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think we should be doing about that?
We should be recycling more and reusing things and trying not to use too much paper and plastic bags. And also another thing is if you buy local produce, then they don't have to fly everything from another place, which pollutes the environment.
Yeah. And do you want to go into art in the future?
Um, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. You said that Emily Carr never married.
Yeah, she said that if she married or had kids, she wouldn't have time to paint and make her artwork. And she loved her artwork and just wanted to keep painting.
Do you think the reason that we have so many Emily Carr paintings, so many like amazing Emily Carr paintings, is because she never married?
Yes, because if she had kids, she would have been too focused on getting food and providing for the children.
Did you know much about her before you started this project?
Not really. I knew that she was an artist, and I saw a couple of her paintings, but before I started this project, I didn't know much about her.
Has this changed your perspective then on any of the paintings you saw? I know Big Raven is very famous.
Well, kind of, because now I know why she painted them, and I know that now she loves nature, which is why there are so many paintings of trees that she made.
Yeah. Do you know, can you tell me a little bit about the impact you feel Emily Carr has on Canadian history? Like, pretend I knew nothing about her. Why should I care about her?
Well, she was a female artist, which wasn't very common at the time. And she also wrote books, which she's more of a storyteller than a historian. So they kind of bend the truth a little, but mostly they're true. So yeah, she was also a book writer, and she made a lot of paintings. She had a big family, lots of pets. Her family was from England and they were very rich. So,
I heard she had a pet monkey. Is that true?
yeah, her monkey is named Wu. She had almost 35 pets, but Wu is the most famous.
You also mentioned that she wrote books. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Book of Small is the one over there. It's about her childhood. She also has one about her house. And at the Carr house, they sell her books there.
And you've been to the Carr house?
Yes.
Yeah. What was it like?
It was very old-fashioned, and her father, he wanted the expensive things, but he didn't want to pay the money. So he bought marble wallpaper, and he got an artist to make wood look like this expensive type of wood, but it looked terrible. And the whole house was very orange and brown and very dark, except for the bathroom, which is blue and white, and it's just a really nice place if you are just walking around that dark orangeness.
Why do you think he chose orange? It's a very strange color for the inside of a house.
Well, the old-fashioned houses, they tend to have darker colors. We recently had renovations, but before that, our house was also kind of yellow and dark. So yeah, old-fashioned houses.
Can you tell me a little bit more about her relationship with the First Nations? They even gave her a name, didn't they?
Yeah, she was called Kleewik, or Laughing One, and she visited a lot of First Nations villages. And So she went there a lot to paint and to meet the people there. And she actually has a couple paintings in her house of the First Nations villages. But what was interesting about the paintings in her house is that there's First Nations children wearing like English people's clothes, or there's First Nations children wearing First Nations clothes, but instead of a big long house, they have more of a modern house.
Mm.
So I think that's because during trading, the First Nations were trading like their skins for more modern protective places.
Yeah. Why laughing one, do you think?
Probably because she was very happy there, and laughter is usually a sign of happiness. So yeah, the happy one, laughing one. Probably.
Yeah. What's the most interesting thing you've learned while doing this project?
Probably that she has almost 35 pets, because most people only have 1 or 2 pets, or if they have a tank of fish, maybe 10. But yeah, she had 35 different pets: dogs, cats, chipmunks, raccoons. Yeah, just so many pets.
Yeah. Imagine owning a raccoon. Wow.
That would be.
Yeah. And if you were, pretend you were stuck in an elevator with someone who didn't know about this topic, how would you explain it to them in just a few sentences?
I would say that she was an artist who made paintings that were mostly about nature, and she had a big family.
Mm-hmm. Do you think having such a big family impacted her art in any way? Like, were any of them artists as well?
No. Some of her sisters really didn't like her art. One of her sisters, Emily, made her a carpet because she was into religious things. So it was a carpet of a scene in the Bible. But her sister absolutely hated it, and she refused to accept it because it was Eve taking the apple of sin. And she said that Eve looked way too happy on the carpet because she was doing a bad thing, but she looked happy, so she wouldn't take the carpet.
That's really funny, actually. And you said that the Carr House is also an art studio now.
Yeah, in the dining room, kids can take art lessons there. And Emily used to actually teach the art lessons. But now the people who manage the Carr House do the art lessons.
Mm. And we're almost coming up on time here. Is there anything I haven't asked that you want to share with us?
Not really, except that Emily also, she made cartoons, little drawings of her and her pets. There's one, yeah, she made a lot of just cartoons of animals and her. There's one where she's staring at a bird in a cage, and I think she's taking it on a train. Yeah, they have a couple of her cartoons at the Carr House.
Right. Thank you so much, Rose. I learned a lot, and you should be really proud of your work.
Thank you.